Sabrina continues to fight for her coven in Chilling Adventures of Sabrina Part 3, Episode 5 Recap. Spoilers through Episode 5 of Chilling Adventures of Sabrina ahead. Now that we're halfway through Part 3, things are kicking into high gear. Or higher gear, depending on your point of view. Sabrina still needs to find 2 more items for the Regalia. Nick was last seen overdosing on whatever Satan gave him, and the pagans are still bad news for Sabrina's coven. Sabrina finds herself pulled in a lot of directions. Just as Sabrina is trying to find a way to help Nick, Lilith brings the horde from hell to the academy since they won't wait any longer for their regalia. Caliban is, still, dying to be king of hell, and because of all this everyone in her coven knows Sabrina is queen of hell. She's trying to do a lot since Roz is still stone and Nick has his issues. Now her coven desperately needs her to claim her throne and continue with the regalia in order for them to have any chance in surviving the old ones. Sabrina is definitely stretching herself thin trying to juggle mortal problems, Nick, and hell, but her next move is fairly easy to pick. In order to save her coven and gain back their loss of power, she needs to fight for the next item, Pontius Pilate's bowl. Lilith points out that Sabrina's denial of the throne leads to all their hardships. Their lack of powers, the old ones coming out of wherever they were, and all the suffering is because of her. As Zelda sternly tells Sabrina, the coven is your alpha and omega, her beginning and end at the moment. Pontius Pilate makes an appearance. The bowl, and Pontius Pilate, are in Golgotha, the very place Jesus Christ was crucified. While it would be nearly impossible to get access to the time loop Pontius Pilate is stuck in, the water from the mystical time egg helps Sabrina out. Sabrina is captured and finds Caliban was there first, but he's in a cell too. She is able to fool the Roman guard and centurions with a glamour and Barabbas' help, and run away with the bowl, leaving Caliban there. One of the old one's secrets come out. Meanwhile, Aunt Hilda's curse is picking up and she has spiders coming out of weird places. Also, Prudence tries to figure out a way to save both of her sisters. With Ambrose's guidance, she tries to slow down Agatha's mind, but it's like a tsunami. They do find out, though, that the ringleader of the carnival and old ones is the great god Pan, the oldest pagan monster. Seen as a satyr with Roz's cunning, Pan is madness personified, which explains Agatha's manic, crazed state. Ambrose also figures out that if they can harvest enough energy within the coven in Greendale's own personal Stonehenge, it might be able to help Dorcas as well. Lucifer is also on the loose and seeking revenge for the coven turning on him. He's out to deceive and kill the witches and also the mortals. Not only does he convince Elspeth and Melvin to defect to the pagans, knowing they'd die, but he aims for Harvey too. He convinces him to attack the carnival, which just results in the school's jocks getting turned into pigs, thanks to Circe. Nick is finally more himself, but that doesn't save his relationship. One of the last things in the episode is Sabrina's journey with Nick. He's still not getting better after trying to detox him with leeches. And it turns out that's due to the fact that he's still infected with Satan's residue. When Nick described the Dark Lord being inside him still, that's what he was referring to. To try to entice the residue out of Nick, Ambrose and Sabrina use her blood, since it's the closest to Lucifer's. Once Nick comes to, he's ashamed of how he's acted towards Sabrina, but don't let your shipping hearts get too full yet. Sabrina is way too gung-ho to get back to where things left off, considering everything that's happened. Nick stops her, saying that he's not sure it was Satan that spat all that hate at Sabrina, or if the Dark Lord just exploited something within him. Sabrina's desire to give herself what she wants has to be pushed to the side because Nick needs space. Sabrina does say that she's willing to give it all up for Nick, but he sees through that. He calls her out, saying that she's chasing being queen and doesn't really want to give up anything, even for him. "I'll only slow you down," he tells her. Even though she doesn't believe that he has some great points, and deep down she probably knows it's true. It doesn't make it any easier when Nick says, "If I kiss you, I'll never be able to walk away though." The drama. The heartbreak. With 3 episodes left, the arrival of the Hedge Witches and Mambo Marie at the end of the episode brings a bit of hope for Sabrina's coven. They look rather angry, but they might be the difference between death and survival.